Now, the Ministry of National Security has identified the movement of suspicious persons on the hills of Bunkurubu, Nankpanduri district in the northeast region. Similar intelligence was gathered at Garu in the upper east region. The activities of these suspicious persons are not yet known. But in a letter cited by Joy News, the ministry revealed that members of the group aboard motorbikes were reported to have dressed in apparel covering their faces and seen heading towards the mountainous areas in the Garu district. It has therefore advised all security agencies to be on high alert to avert any possible breaches. The statement was copied to the Chief of Defense Staff of the Ghana Armed Forces and the Inspector General of Police. Now, my colleague Samuel Mbura joins me on Zoom with what the latest on what is happening in the Upper East region. Mbura, good afternoon. First of all, what have the regional councils for both Northeast and Upper East doing about the intelligence gathered?
Clarence, so the information we are picking is that since the signal was picked by the National Security Agency, there was a meeting by the Regional Security Council where they have actually instructed or they have asked the security agencies to look into it to see how they can revise their security approach in dealing with the situation. We know very well that some of this information are coming in as a result of the recently launched See Something, Say Something campaign. On alerted issues of extremist activities within the Ghanaian borders, and some areas have been identified as hotspots. So as we speak now, there have been discussions around it, and then they have actually engaged other security agencies, the immigration, the customs, the Ghana police, the Ghana army, and they are moving to the borders to tighten up their security and ensure that the public also volunteers information for them to curb any activities related to that.
So can you tell us what you have gathered about this area captured in the report?
Right, so if you look at the Bunkurubu Nankpanduri area, for instance, it is located in the northeast region. Nankpanduri is actually more or less a linking town that you can pass through Nankpanduri from the east. You are heading towards Patia, heading towards Garu, then you now connect into Boko, and you can actually branch from there to Wedana, and you are in Burkina Faso. From Bunkurubu, you can also connect to Togo, and the nearest town there is Vermont in Togo. So what we are learning is that the escarpment around Bunkurubu and Nankpanduri area heading towards Gambaga, we know is actually a safe haven for the activities of these criminals. If you would recall the famous case of Combian, that's where he actually hit and shot some police officers some time ago, and then he was eventually arrested. So this area is noted for smugglers. They go into Togo, they go into Burkina Faso to go and buy commodities that are cheaper in Togo or Burkina Faso, and then cut them into Ghana. So it's actually not surprising that the report is coming from that area. Those who are much familiar about that area will know that the nature of the escarpment is such that the road is very bad. So if you are traveling all the way from Nankpanduri to Garu, the road is not actually tarred. You don't have security points or checkpoints there. So security bridges are quite rich in that area. Residents are aware of the situation, but it has not come to them as a surprise. It's a situation they have been living with, robbery incidents and all that. The situation hasn't actually sent any panic in the area per what our sources are telling us. But I am gathering that the military Operation Calm Life from stationed at Nankpanduri have actually been Nankpanduri have actually been deployed to the areas that have been identified for the activities of these suspicious characters. So they are tightening up the security measures in these areas. Immigration, I was told, as of yesterday, sent some of their men around that area, but it's quite a dangerous zone. Because one, the road is not tarred. Two, the nature of the escarpment is quite a dangerous area that people, ordinarily, you don't see people loitering around, but only these activities of the smugglers in that area. Right.
Okay, Mbura, keep a close eye on this particular story. We'll come to you in our subsequent bulletins for any update on this. Ilyasu Tanko is in the northeast region and has been running some checks and joins me via Zoom. Ilyasu, good afternoon. How is the region receiving this news? Hello, Ilyasu.
Well, the incident, hello, can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear. Can you tell us how the region is receiving this news?
Well, following this incident, I get to know that the Regional Security Council have also been doing a lot of activities. I have been in touch with the immigration commander in Bunkurbu, who is in control of this particular area, and he tells me that there have been some deployment to that particular area. And so as I speak to you now, the men from Bunkurbu have moved from Nankpanduri to this particular route where we are getting this report from. I get to also know that the Operation Calm Life that Sami has just mentioned, which is also stationed in the Bunkurbu Nankpanduri district capital, which is Bunkurbu, has also moved to this particular area. My understanding is that these men are going there, first of all, to try and locate these particular suspicious armed men that were sighted wearing turbans and riding motorbikes in that particular area, and also possible to intercept them if that is possible. Again, they are also going to that area to speak to the local population, because that's the only way that they can get more information about these men. So they are going to engage the local population to get more information about this particular movement.
Okay, Ilyasu Tanko, thank you very much for that information there. Now, let's speak to security analyst Adib Sani. Good afternoon, Adib Sani. First of all, what is your reading of this fresh alert on possible movement of terrorists within the country?
Well, first of all, I'm absolutely gobsmacked and short of words that such a sensitive document would find its way into the public domain the very day it was authored. So what in essence this means is the whole intervention failed even before it started, because I'm pretty sure that the bad guys might have got wind of this information before it even reached the CDS and the IGP. For such critical information, it has to be classified, and by now I would have thought that our information should be encrypted and it should be sent through secured service. Okay, and what we need to also do now is to investigate how come this information, which was authored just yesterday, came out into the public domain by the close of day yesterday. Okay, so what it means also is the whole project, whatever they intended to do, the whole counter-terrorism strategy they wanted to activate on the ground has been compromised, because the guys would know that, hey, our security forces are coming after them. So we need to investigate. It is highly likely that there's an enemy within, okay, because if really you are a true son of the land, you wouldn't leak such a sensitive information. And we need to go beyond the writing of letters. At this time, we need to be on the ground. We need to communicate securely, because it's not been long when a similar cable from the police, from the head office of the Ghana Police Service to the Regional Police Command in Upper East, asking the Regional Command to be mindful of some individuals who had moved from around Burkina to fight in Buku, and they were on their way back. So we cannot afford to allow these lapses to continue to exist.
So you're suggesting that there are moles within the national security operatives?
Absolutely. I suspect there are enemies within, and they have to investigate and get to find out who might have leaked this information, because this is not supposed to be public. Okay, this shouldn't have gone through perhaps many hands. It should be straightforward. So it shouldn't be much of a difficult thing to do to find out the source of the leak.
Okay, so for residents of these areas mentioned in the document, how should they respond to this news?
Okay, so I think that for now, they would have to be on the lookout. They would have to be alert about what is happening. I know of the movements of certain groups within that area, not just the Bunkurbu area, but Widana, Hamili, and so many other places around the northern frontier. The people there need to know the truth. They need to know what is going on. They need to be educated. That is why I've always not minced words, calling on the national security to go beyond just infographics on social media with respect to the see something, and collaborate with civil society organizations who are already well grounded who are already dealing with the people. The people know them, they know the people. When they go there to speak with the people, trust me, they will listen to them better than the politicians.
Okay.
So if we really want this to succeed, let's collaborate with the civil society organizations and go beyond ambassadorial stuff, because this is not an entertainment thing. This is serious business. Okay? We need to go out there and educate the people so they are aware.
Adib Sani, thank you very much for your time. We are much grateful. Now, this report comes barely 2 weeks after the Ministry of National Security launched the See Something, Say Something campaign, which aims at raising public alertness on extremist activities.
The See Something, Say Something campaign, therefore, is a critical preventative measure by the Ministry of National Security and the other security ministries to, first of all, empower Ghanaians to be more conscious about their own security, and secondly, to enhance their relationship with state security authorities. See Something, Say Something campaign is one of the many measures currently being undertaken by the ministry to safeguard the country against terrorism and violent extremism. Numerous kinetic and non-kinetic approaches continue to be implemented in that regard. Ghanaians must therefore be rest assured that the state security and intelligence architecture is working tirelessly to protect them against any such attack. But it is also important to state that the campaign is not aimed at creating panic among the citizenry. We certainly are not panicking. Rather, it is geared toward bolstering the confidence of the public to swiftly report suspicious activities in their communities to the relevant security and intelligence agencies. Let me also state